Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Why Nobody Plays video. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the man himself, man. The guy who brings a baseball bat to fight off the likes of Galactus, as well as fight off pure forms of hatred itself? Damn. And of course, who I'm talking about is Masacre, or Massacre, however you say it. Now, like we always do with these types of videos, let's actually go over all his abilities and then later on discuss why nobody plays him. Failed Incinerate effects. Each time an Incinerate effect fails to apply due to an immunity, the target instead takes a burst of energy damage. Baseball bat attacks. Now his first, second, third light attack, as well as his first medium and heavy attacks, all utilize the baseball bat. Now these have different effects depending on two different situations. The first situation is while you're building ignition charges, which are the blue Incinerate passive effects there in the corner. And the second situation is while you're actually ignited, when the Incinerate turns red. Now while you're building ignition charges, his baseball bat attacks gain 700 block penetration, landing a critical hit, being blocked, or striking an opponent that has an Incinerate debuff grants 1 ignition charge for 20 seconds. Critical hits deal an additional 256.1% of damage for each ignition charge that you have currently. While ignited, Massacre cannot gain ignition charges, and upon reaching 10 ignition charges, all of them are consumed and Massacre's bat becomes ignited for 20 seconds. Now while he's ignited, baseball bat attacks gain 1400 block penetration, and when striking a block, you'll be able to gain power equal to what you would have gotten if the opponent wasn't blocking. Baseball bat attacks also inflict an Incinerate on the opponent, dealing a certain amount of energy damage over 5 seconds. The Incinerates also remove perfect block chance as well as reduce block proficiency by 50% only while it's active, and these Incinerate debuffs gain an additional second for each Incinerate on the opponent, maxing out at 5 seconds. Now when Massacre's hits are blocked, the opponent will suffer minus 50% ability accuracy if they have at least one debuff. Now on to the specials. Special 1. You have a 100% chance to inflict a Disorient debuff lasting 12 seconds and reducing defensive ability accuracy as well as block proficiency by 50%. If the opponent doesn't have an Incinerate debuff, the duration will be increased by plus 200%. It also has a 100% chance to refresh all active Incinerate debuffs, and all the machete hits have a 100% chance to inflict a bleed debuff, causing a certain amount of damage over 20 seconds. The Special 2. $34,255.9. It gains a lot of attack rating if it's blocked, and it gains 1400 block penetration if Massacre is ignited. Now if this special strikes into a block, Massacre will avoid all incoming attacks for 1 second, granting them a 100% chance to miss. The Special 3. This attack inflicts an Incinerate onto the opponent, dealing a certain amount of energy damage over 5 seconds. This effect also removes perfect block chance and reduces block proficiency by 50% while the Incinerate is active. Now as for the Awakened ability, if the opponent has 0 Incinerate debuffs, Massacre will gain increased combat power rate while attacking, as well as a certain amount of critical rating. Now as you can see, Massacre has a lot of things going for him. He has Incinerates, Bleeds, Disorients, as well as some pretty big numbers on his special 2. And pretty much his abilities are summed up into two different types of playstyles. The first one is going for the special ones, which is refreshing your Incinerates, inflicting bleed damage as well as inflicting disorients, which in my opinion is the better playstyle because the damage over time can really start to build up after a certain amount of time, man. But then of course you have the second playstyle where you go for special 1 and pretty much just go for special 2s after that. Now after a bunch of testing, I actually noticed that the first playstyle of just spamming special 1s is actually the better way to play him, or at least it's the faster way to kill opponents, which is kind of funny because his whole gimmick is about reducing the block proficiency as well as kind of dealing more damage based off of that. Now on to the topic, why nobody plays him. Now first let's talk about his drip real quick. This dude has stop signs for knee pads or knee protection things. I wonder how he runs in these, man. You know, he has the double sawed-off shotguns there in the back, a wooden thing with spikes on the left arm, and the face pretty much shouts like, what am I doing here, man? Now like I explained before, he pretty much has two playstyles which kind of come together a bit but are two completely separate things. It's either you build dot damage or you build up to the special 2 for some big numbers. However, in the long run, the special 2 rotation kind of falls off in damage as compared to the special 1 rotation, because the dot damage keeps building up and you can pretty much finish a Realm of Legends fight in like less than a minute with the special 1 rotation. However, with the special 2 rotation, you kind of have to focus on keeping Incinerates on the opponent while also going for the special 2, and of course the only way to refresh these Incinerates is going for special 1s, and so that's sort of the issue. Even though he was buffed and made a really good champion, I feel like the time pretty much just shows because his block breaking capabilities are pretty much fully utilized in a character like Valkyrie, and she's newer, so of course this dude is gonna be power crept like hell in terms of the block breaking playstyle. However, in terms of overall damage, I do think that Masacre does more damage than Valkyrie. Now to make him a bit better, I would actually recommend 3 things that they do with him. The first thing is to allow Incinerate refreshing with his heavy attacks, because refreshing with the special 1 is just you need to build a special 1, and if the opponent is being very defensive, you can't get it off and so you lose most of your damage. Now the second thing that I'll change to him is make it so that his special 1 effects also activate when you hit into the opponent's block. Now this is pretty much just for scenarios where the opponent is being real stingy, and like I said, you can't really refresh because the special 1's all you have, and yeah. Now as for the last recommendation I have is to allow him to place intimidate debuffs on the opponent with, I don't know, his heavy attack or something, just so that the special 2 playstyle can be a bit more effective. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments who I should make a video on next, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!